the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys, the Brown Boys, we the Brown Boys. We're gonna react to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Buddy, God dog, Stephen A. You talked about all of these people. You act as if you are and I told you, Stephen A., you in a go along, get along game. And you act as if you was free to do and say whatever you want, but you are not. And you've been speaking on a lot of things, Stephen A. And you got your chest out a lot lately because you have your own show and you got $100 million. But you started speaking on the Epstein list. You started speaking on a lot of things, and I'm like, and then you spoke on it in a way like you were speaking of for everybody. So you went on Cuomo and said, no one, the American people are not worried about the Epstein list. I'm like, what? I even said, I'm like, the only thing that I disagree with Trump with is that he didn't release the Epstein list. Because everybody was blaming it on Trump. So I'm like, shit, he should have got that done. That's what he said he was going to do. Like, it just seemed like it was Trump's fault because everybody, he came in saying, we're going to release this, Pam Bondi, all these people. So we thought that was the case and we didn't see it. So we was pissed. So to have Stephen A. Smith go up there and say it's not a big deal, then Stephen A., I think you pissed off a lot of people. On top of that, you started getting in the media with arguments with black women. And we have a culture now that if you was a white man, then you could disagree with a black woman and potentially almost certainly not be fired, especially if you didn't be disrespectful. But they expect more from you, Stephen A. You're black and you're making money. And if you disrespect a black woman, they try to tie it to all of them. And they will take away your income or slowly get you out of there, Stephen A. And I think that's what happened to you. That's what I think. Because you done got over you done got a little bit too big for your britches. And I think they're going to show you your britches ain't as big as you think they are. And I think you lost your girlfriend, to be honest with you. I actually think you lost your girlfriend too, because you starting to diss, or not even diss, you starting to give more of your opinion on black women, and you should know better, Stephen A. Reason why I say you should know better, you was fired for giving said opinion, Stephen A. You shouldn't be talking no more about stuff like that. You should let that go. If I was working in the mainstream media and I said something about black women and I was suspended or fired for at one point, then that's over with. I'm not saying nothing else. So here's the interview that he had that I think had a lot to do with him being fired, aside from the arguments with the women. But when you go over to the political side and you start saying things like you cool with Trump, because 1 minute he'll go over there, and me and Sino was talking about it. 1 minute he'll go over there and act like he mad at Trump, he hate Trump, and then he'll say stuff about the Dems. So he'll try to double dutch. And with them, it's all or nothing. Why you use that green screen? Which one you want to see? Hold on, let me see. You want me to have that? Want me to use that? What about Becky with the good hair? Stalking down Derek Fisher. Yeah, I like that. Or what about it blurred? You want a blurred background? No? I mean, I want you to feel comfortable now. I want you to feel comfortable now. Hey, Negroes always got something. Hey, man, it's crazy, man. Stephen A. Smith is not allowed to speak on white people. Once he speak on the white police officer bumping into the black football player, he lost his job. That might be too, but he definitely speaking on Trump. He definitely, it's a lot he ain't supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's a lot of things that Stephen A. been doing lately, and And he thinks just because he vote one way, he thinks that's going to cover him. But that's not what they looking for. It's all or nothing, Stephen A.
Versus whatever we want to call this movement on the left that has decided to match ferocity with the right?
I think it's foolish. I think that ultimately it plays right into President Donald Trump's hands, because if you're the left, you may be taking the position. You may think you're taking the moral position, but the reality is on too many occasions, we've seen them try to utilize certain issues to foment a level of support, to curry favor with constituents out there who may be undecided, who may be a bit suspect about them. You can call it an evasive tactic on their part, or effort to gain a support that evidently we all see that they've lost, at least to some degree, and they're fighting the good fight on this issue. But the reality is that the election showed us that America has spoken on this particular issues. And while we may not want children being taken away from their parents, separated from their parents and things of that nature, we certainly didn't want open borders where over 12 million people crossed borders in the United States of America, because we felt that it had a detrimental effect on this country. And so the American voter has spoken about that regard. And what they've said is that the right in their position is closer to a reality that we want in this country than the reality that the left was preaching. And when they send that kind of message, and then your response or your retort thereafter in the aftermath of the election, obviously, is to take this route where you have a representative or an elected official out of Maryland going all the way to El Salvador to talk to somebody, but there's stuff going on right here at home that he couldn't find the time for. This is the kind of stuff that is fodder for.
See, Stephen A. think this stuff is cool. Like, he made a very good point there. He made a very good point that Stephen A. Smith is not supposed to make. I hate to say it to you, Stephen A. This is not sports. I get people not liking me all the time now because they say I'm a Trump boy and all this other stuff. You make points like this, they're going to connect you with Trump, automatic hatred. So be careful, Stephen A.
The right, and they're going to use to their advantage any chance they get.
And they're just way too quiet. You want to care about January 6th, you should. But they're being way too quiet about things that they'd be really loud about if you flip the sides. So we're going to take a break. Stephen A is going to come back with me, and we're going to talk about a story that we do not see the same way. But I want to ask him a question that he should not answer until we come back. Any chance that you would join Andrew Yang and Elon Musk with this new party that they're starting? Don't one like an SAS enter.
Voters, no. Elon Musk, I think, is usually the thing.
Fringe faction. So that takes us.
I don't know.
He's not graphic in it, and he.
All right, I'm gonna slow it down for this part. This is the part that I was talking about. Stephen A. Smith was speaking on the Epstein list. I think this was really bad because you could look in the comment section on this video. It was bad, and yeah, let's check it out.
Not that he believed or didn't believe, but he went after that issue, and he surrounded himself with people who trafficked in this. And I don't believe it's going away, but you and I disagree about why it's not going away. You say it's not going away because there is a list.
Okay. I believe it's a list. I don't know, but neither do you. And that's where I'm going with this. I understand, first of all, that you know more than me. Hell, I lean on you for half my knowledge, for crying out loud. So let me not sit up here in front and act like I go in a different direction. I do for half my knowledge. That's where I'm going with this. I understand, first of all, that you know more than me. Hell, I lean on you for half my knowledge, for crying.
I know that just make Chris Como feel so good that this brown-nosing butter biscuit boy that always talks so strong to us black folk, always talk so strong to us. He over here talking about, now he a babbling idiot when Chris Como was on the scene. The guy that used all these big words, this guy that's so knowledgeable, this guy that gets mad at Jason Williams when he questions anything about his education or his motives, he's spitting mad and yelling. But with Chris Como asked him one question, I mean, brown nosing it. I mean, I'm just so, what do I know? I mean, without you, white massa, I mean, I don't know anything. I just come for you. I don't know nothing. Like, really, Stephen A? Right in front of our face, really? You know more than me. You need your boot clean? Yeah. $100 million guy. Unbelievable.
I believe it's a list. I don't know, but neither do you. And that's where I'm going with this. I understand, first of all, that you know more than me. Hell, I lean on you for half my knowledge, for crying out loud. So let me not sit up here in front and act like I go in a different direction. I got love and respect for you, my brother. But I think that, over the course of watching folks do business, there's this inclination and there's this desire to say, conspiracy theory, let's stop the nonsense. I'm a more practical brother, my man Chris Cuomo. I'm a more practical brother in this sense. You can't tell me that a sex trafficker, somebody that purportedly engaged in the kind of insidious behavior that this man didn't prepare himself in some way for his comeuppance per se one day. And that if that day arrived, he wouldn't be in a position to say, if I go down, there's a whole lot of people that's going down with me. I'm not saying that's the truth. That would be irresponsible for me to say. But I also think it's crazy, not irresponsible, but crazy for you or somebody else to say, nonsense. There's no way that happened. We don't know that. I mean, think about the people we've seen Epstein with now. Think about the people we know that he's known. Think about the connections that he has had. Think about some of the proclivities we have learned, black, white, and everything in between, in terms of perverted men having and what have you, in terms of how they engage, the kind of behavior that they engage in. And I'm supposed to sit back here with a straight face and say, absolutely, positively not. There's no way that happened. Nah, Chris Cuomo, you can do that. I'm not doing that. I got an eyebrow raised, and I'm saying to myself, that combined with the 47th president of the United States, that is known for making sure that he does favors for those who skillfully and adroitly ingratiate themselves with him. It could be January.
See, he thinks this is like sports. You said one thing bad about the Dems. He said one thing bad about Republicans. He's insinuating that Trump is in office, so that's why it's being held up. But you can't say nothing negative about the Dems, boy. That's what you got to understand, Stephen A. You make $100 million. You better leave politics alone. They already starting to go sour on you. Like that side you on, you might well join the right, because the right will let you diss them and diss the other side. The left, it's get down and lay down. You're going to be, Stephen A., I heard you being let go at a lot of college institutions, and I don't know this to be true. This is just through the grapevine, that a lot of these HBCUs and places, they're not talking to you no more. They taking stuff away from you, Stephen A. You just got thrown off the countdown, Stephen A. All because you had an opinion. Do you still think it's cool to vote for a party that wants to take away your opinion and your ability to speak? Do you think that's okay, Stevie boy? Because now you're about to go through it. And I think this is the reason why.
Insurrectionists. It could be elected officials. It could be business folks. It could be anything. If you tell this man you love him enough, and then you need a favor, you can't rule out the possibility that he might look out for you. I'm not saying he did anything. I'm saying I'm not ruling out the possibility that Trump did favors. That said, you know what? Let it go. I'm not ruling it out.
All right.
No, not.
So I'm not saying you have to rule it out, but you can't just rule it in because it sounds like New Jack City. I remember what Nino Brown said. I saw Nino Brown, but it was a movie for reason. So here is my suspicion coming the opposite direction, which is Biden and his team had access to this stuff. Trump and his team had access to this stuff. So I believe that we do not have a great institutional history of secret keeping, okay? And if there was bad stuff in there about Donald Trump, it would have come out, okay? And he would have never put these people around him. He would have never given them jobs, people who were in the pro-exposure stuff. Yes, sir.
I'm not saying in any way, I'm not making any kind of implication towards the president himself. I'm saying there's some names. I believe there may be some names on a list. I believe you. And you also got to remember, we also lament what's. Okay. I'm just saying, you see names on both sides of the aisle of people with money and influence or whatever. Yes. They're helping both sides. They're helping both sides. So it's in everybody's best interest to look out for those names. That's what I'm implying.
But you have these flamethrowers who would love to take those people down, first of all, and they haven't. And I will caution people. We just finished a trial where, when it began, we expected a cavalcade of celebrities that were all involved in one of the oiliest, orgiastic things we've ever heard of before. And at the end of it, Diddy was all alone. And that is with federal prosecutors who had such a hard-on to get him that they had gone to such great lengths, but they couldn't loop in one other celebrity.
They didn't have the evidence.
So maybe on the Epstein side,
first of all,
we're in a similar situation.
They probably didn't have the evidence.
I don't think this has nothing to do with Epstein. I don't know how. I don't. I think I knocked my mic out. Can y'all hear me again? I think I'm back on. Yeah. I don't know how you make a comparison between Diddy and Epstein. How do you make that comparison? Um Epstein had a far bigger reach than Diddy. Diddy is a hip hop entertainer. His white Zaddy was bigger than him. Allegedly Clyde Davis and all these other people. But Epstein could have been blackmailing politicians, foreign countries over here. Epstein knew everybody. Epstein was cool with not one president, he was cool with damn near all of them. He's in pictures with Trump. He's in pictures with Bill. He's in pictures with everybody. He knows and moved and shake with everybody. Hell, Epstein is texting a black woman from Thailand, a congresswoman who was actually, where was she from? I don't know if it's Thailand, but she was on the Senate floor during a hearing, a congressional hearing, and she was interviewing one of Trump's witnesses, and they're texting back and forth with Epstein. And this is like in 2019. So I don't think not Trump, I don't think Diddy and Epstein should be mentioned in the same sentence, other than the fact that they both some sick bitches. But far as the what could have been done and the scale it's been done on, Epstein is far worse in that sense and far dangerous. The influence he had on other people's lives and what he could have blackmailed people with pictures. If our former president Paul Clinton, because I don't know who Bill is, Paul Clinton, that nasty joker that was up on that wall. If our former president Paul Clinton, no relation to Bill, was always with Epstein and he was always turning up, then if he got caught in a compromising situation, audio went out again. I need to stop touching this mic. If he got caught in a compromising situation, then that could have caused a situation. Now the audio is good. Yeah, but my thing is Epstein is in a class of his own. Virgin Islands, that's where she's from. Virgin Islands, I'm sorry. She was a black woman from the Virgin Islands, and she's able to type text a guy about how she's chewing and that she looks nice. Like, who would? I don't want to hear nothing. I wouldn't want my woman to be talking with no known pedo about how she looks and all this other stuff. Like, no. But yeah, this is what I think the issue is.
Against Diddy. Certainly not to convict him of sex trafficking and racketeering. They were a bit overzealous, to say the least. And the Southern District of New York ended up with egg on their face in a very pronounced and conspicuous way that it's going to take them a very, very long time to recover from, in my estimation. Fair enough. But when we go to the Epstein, the quote unquote Epstein file, I'm going to tell you what jumps out in my mind, because I'm with you in this regard. We can't rule it out, but we can't definitively say it existed either, because we don't know. And because we don't know, it's irresponsible to say there must be a list. There must be. You can say what you believe. You can say what you're suspicious of, but you can't sit up there and speak in definitive terms when you don't have that level of evidence. That's number two. Number three, here's the big thing for me. The far right is actually, they don't realize this. They're making Trump look better and better every day. Think about this. We've got the war with Ukraine and Russia. We've got the whole Israeli-Palestinian.
I want you to watch how hard Chris Cuomo swallows when when Stephen A. started this.
Got the war with Ukraine and Russia. We better every day. Think about it. It's actually, they don't realize this. They're
Watch
making
this, y'all.
Trump look better and better every day. Think about this. We've got the war with Ukraine and Russia.
Look at this.
We've got the whole
Swallow hard.
Israeli-Palestinian situation. Hamas, Hezbollah, even though that's been relatively crushed and what have you. We see all of this stuff going on. You got tariff wars. You've got, purportedly the imminent presence of inflation and all of this stuff, or recession. Everybody talks about these things, okay? You see what's going on with ICE. You see what's going on with our border issues and what have you. And Trump no matter what you may think about him, if you are on the right, you could not ask for better than what he has done, because what he has done is what they have said they wanted and have been trying to get done for years.
Boy, Chris Como, Como is an old dirty slave covered money faking liberal. Man, Cuomo he looked like he wanna choke Stephen A. He was happy with Stephen A at first. He was smiling when Stephen A was like, I don't know nothing. You smarter than me. He was just Stephen A got to say, yeah, we like Trump this, Trump that. He was, damn, boy. Stephen A, you better stop this, Stephen A. You're going to get canceled. You already won showdown.
And even they admit that he's doing their bidding, yet they're in an uproar because the Department of Justice said there's no client list and the Epstein file space is closed. Really? I mean, I'm wondering I got to talk to Steve Bannon. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to some of these people, the Tucker Carlsons of the world and everybody going crazy over the Epstein client list. Mm-hmm. That's what you're concerned about? I mean, you've got such a hard on for the president that you are.
Listen to Stephen A. That's what you're worried about? Yes. It's a lot of people worried about this Epstein list. Absolutely. It's been people asking about this list for years. It's been, Stephen A., do you think this is just about a list? This is about people getting away with things, living in a shadow world from what seemed to be for years. Finally, they got a guy in Epstein that they thought was the guy that was going to be able to break the mold and catch all of these big wigs that did all these things. You know how people don't really understand the way the world works, and that's not going to happen. But this is what they were hoping. They were hoping that, hey, Epstein is going to go to trial. Epstein is going to tell on everybody. A man got unalived, Stephen A. I know he was a nasty, no good son of a you-know-what, but that nasty, no good son of a you-know-what could have locked up more nasty, no good you-know-whats had the system protected him in an isolated room where he shouldn't have been able to hurt himself at all. Had the system worked for us Americans, maybe we could have found out who these people are. But somehow a person got unalived in a cell where that wasn't supposed to be able to happen, 24-hour security, unalived in front of the American people, and we just supposed to forget about it? No. So when Trump came into office and he said he was going to give us that list, that's when everybody like, finally, we're not living in metaverse. Finally, we're not living in a world to where when big things happen right in front of us, you can say, don't look at that. Go look at LeBron James dunk. His son is in the NBA now. And then all is forgotten after you just unalive somebody in a prison cell that is not supposed to happen. So no, people are upset about that list. They almost was enraged. Some of them only thinking because Trump is getting away with something, but people want to know. They want to know why is certain people bigger than the program. And so for you to downplay it like this, Stephen A., I think you made a big, big mistake, buddy.
That's what you can going crazy. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to some of these people, the Tucker Carlsons of the world and everybody going crazy over the Epstein client list. Mm-hmm. That's what you're concerned about? I mean, you've got such a hard on for the president that you are losing your mind with all the things. Again, if you are a member of the right, you're a centrist, you're a leftist, you can't be too happy with what he's doing. But on the right, you have the audacity to look at this man like he's I mean, I don't want to be facetious, but you're treating him like he's the Antichrist right now because of the Epstein list. That's what you're mad about? I do find myself a bit shocked by that. I'm like, damn, I expected folks on the right to have a lot better things to complain about than that. But they really, I mean, I don't even want to bring up his name, but you know who it was that was crying on his podcast, a few days ago because the Epstein list wasn't released. Really? Really? That's what Bongino, I respect the hell out of Bongino. I really, really do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything.
Yeah, see, Stephen A. put his foot in his mouth. He's just talking about a list as if it is just about a list. That list means a greater, bigger thing, a large, massive cover-up with rich people. So it's a little guy versus a big guy thing, Stephen A. There's a good versus evil thing, Stephen A. People are tired of people just getting away with whatever they want. So it's not just the list. So people heard you say this, and a lot of people got enraged because there's women out there that's been taken advantage of, Stephen A. There's women out there that's been trafficked and then made it through that. And to hear you get up on TV and say, that's what we worried about, a list. They're worried about the people that could be still operating and getting away in the shadows with things like this. That list and that Epstein and everything about him could have told us, Stephen A. So this was pretty stupid. This was pretty stupid.
He said, but I have profound respect for him in the service to our country, being, you know, doing the things that he has done. But that's what you're reportedly contemplating resigning. You're the deputy director of the FBI. Really?
But you know
because
why?
He's embarrassed.
He wants to go,
because he thought there was a list. And he was saying he was.
I don't know that he ever thought that there was a list. But here is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. See this?
Okay.
This is the answer. Okay. They are upset about the Epstein list. They are obsessed with the Epstein list because it's how they get paid. It has generated bazillions of clicks. And they know that, and that's why they're trafficking it.
Okay.
And if you look, there is a pattern
I didn't know.
The pod people. The pod people don't waste time on what doesn't pay the way mooks like I do on my show, where I talk about things that I know may not be that popular. That's not what these guys do.
Exactly.
And conspiracies get you paid. That's why they care.
Well, let's take let's take a page as brothers from other mothers, respectfully. Let's take a page and just educate a bunch of folks. All just like all money ain't good money, all clicks ain't good clicks. There's a lot that Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith and others could do to get more clicks. But you know what? Your pride, your integrity, what you stand on, what you stand for matters. You know, represent yourself, represent your name, your family, you know, whomever, you know, who your employer, etc. It all comes with it. And so if that's the answer, and I didn't think about that, Chris, to be quite honest with you, but if that's the answer, it's pretty damn sad. It's pretty damn sad that that's what it has come to, because I'm just looking at if you're a Republican, if you're the GOP, I mean, the big, beautiful bill was just passed, even though the deficit is going to escalate from 3.3.
So, yeah, that, in my opinion, is what got Stephen A. in all this trouble. Yeah,